Welcome to the Mississippi Craft Center. This is Diane Williams, and I'm out here today. I'm going to visit the Blacksmith studio. And it's right across the street from the Craft Center. Look at that. And inside, working in with the fire and everything, is Lyle Wynn. Hello, Lyle. How are you? Oh man, what you got going on?
Oh, it's summer, that's for sure. And it's not a bad day today though. It's a good day to be hammering.
It's a good day to be hammering. So what do they call you? A blacksmith, a forager? What are you called?
Yeah, I'm actually a blacksmith. We got blacksmiths, we got bladesmiths, we got farriers, which are the horseshoers. There's all kinds of avenues in blacksmithing that you can take to get into blacksmithing. Or once you get into it, there's all kinds of different fields to specialize in. But I guess in a doctor would be what they call it, a general practitioner. So a blacksmith it does a little bit of everything.
There's a few women that plow the trade as well, aren't there?
Oh, I've had many women students.
Really?
And I've seen some excellent ones too. I've had the honor of working with some that are really successful. And I've worked with some that were really good, that are known worldwide. And then there's women that want to learn it every day, and it's more of a finesse thing. It doesn't have to be a brawn thing. Learning to hit accurately and using the type of hammer and the type of tool you need to move steel efficiently is the key. Now this started out as a piece of 3/8" square, and I hammered it to a point on the end, and then I isolated 2 spots so that I could draw this piece out. Now this seems like a very simple thing to make. It's going to be a hairpin with what we call a fullered leaf. And it's very simple, but it's very elegant. It's a really beautiful piece. When I first got into blacksmithing, it was probably 6 or 8 years before I made a leaf I could be proud of. Anybody can take a chisel and chisel veins, but this is really spectacular how it comes out.
Really?
I'll try to show that during this.
Okay. How long have you been doing this?
I started in 1998. So about 23 years now. I did it full time from 2011 till 2019, teaching and demonstrating, traveling all over. I've been to Alaska and Canada, teaching classes and demonstrating. It's a challenging craft, and you never learn everything you want to know about it. It's a challenge for the rest of your life.
Really? So I imagine you're always seeing something new you want to challenge yourself with.
Oh man, well, the key to it is, if you want to learn everything on your own, it's going to take much longer. And I try to tell kids when I demonstrate in front of kids, it's just like being in school. You learn from a teacher. Now all the teacher can do is instruct you. It's up to you to learn it for yourself. And that's the way every craft is too. You start out, you learn how to build a fire. In math, you learn simple equations. You learn addition and subtraction. Then you move up to multiplication and division. So as you start learning all these little steps, you start progressing to harder things. And the more you do it, the easier it becomes. And I don't care what in life, when you're born, I guess you got to learn to breathe. It's probably the first thing you got to learn. So then you learn to walk and you learn learning is learning for yourself. You can't really be taught. And I learned that from a guy that I learned a lot of blacksmithing from named Brian Brazil. He was really instructional for me. I learned to look at things and break them down and try to do things for a purpose and not just beating on a piece of metal. And the reason for everything in blacksmithing. Hope I didn't drag it out.
No. How long have you been a member of the Craftsmen's Guild?
Oh, Lord. I think about 12 or 13 years.
Okay.
It's been a while.
And didn't you win a fellowship from the Mississippi Arts Commission?
Oh yeah, that was great. I didn't win it the first time I ever applied for it. I had to apply for it more than once, but eventually, as long as you show your work and you listen to the constructive criticism they give you for why you didn't win it the first time, it helps. And if you just keep trying, you'll get it. That was great. I was able to buy a hydraulic press, and that moved my forging up tremendously. And I've also gotten, what's the one where you apprentice
Yes.
grant? And
Where
I've
you
gotten several mini grants, which help buy my supplies, the coal and the different things I need. So, and all it takes is looking into it. The money's out there and they want you to have it, but if you don't apply for it or know about it, you won't get it.
That's right.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm glad you brought it up.
And I think it was after that that you had an opportunity to go on a TV show to show your talents and to compete.
I actually went on the show right before, and I was runner-up, so I didn't win the $10,000. And thank goodness I got that fellowship grant and was able to buy what I was wanting to buy if I did win the money on the show.
But you were a finalist, and that was pretty good.
Oh, it was wonderful. In that program, I had to make a spear called a Zulu Ikawa, and I hardened the tip real hard on purpose because I thought the strength test, they don't tell you what the test is, what it's going to be. They just tell you what it is. And that was the strength test. So I thought they were going to stab something like a sheet metal or something, and I didn't want the tip to get dull. But what they actually did was they took a block of hardwood and drove the tip 5/8 of an inch in and bent it over. Well, as soon as I saw what the test was, I congratulated the guy next to me because I had made mine extremely hard on purpose. So we live and we learn. They had talked like I may get to come back if they ever call me. I'm not off working, I'll do it, but you have to be gone for a while, so I'm not going to do it if it's going to cost me a lot of money. You know?
Yeah. So
What I have here, I've worked this down to about 1/4 the size of the original stock. And this is going to be the stem for a hairpin. And so what I'm going to do is go ahead and twist this, and then I'll make the leaf, flatten it out and make the leaf.
okay.
Put a twist in this. Twist or something, everybody, they want to see it. And then when they see what it is, they say, oh, is that all you have to do?
They don't know.
So and when you twist something, you want a nice, even heat, if you want it all to twist the same. But thinking about it now, I'm going to do it a little different. I'm going to heat the fall in, and then I'm going to heat it behind this and twist it the opposite direction. It'll just make it look a little nicer. So now I'm heating the backside. And that's one good thing about a coal fire is you can isolate your heat and just heat the areas that you want to get hot. So now I've got it hotter here than it is up there, so I can reverse it and go back the other direction. So now we've got a twist in one direction on one end and the other direction on the other end. So now I'm going to heat this up and flatten it down to make the leaf. If I turned it this way, the mass of the metal would go to the right, and this way it'd go to the left. But if I turn it with the mass straight up, it's going to flatten out into the shape of a leaf, and then I'll put the fuller marks in.
Okay.
And this tool is actually called a fuller. It's shaped like a canoe on the top. It's flat on this end and rounded on both ends, and same way this direction. When I drive it in, it's going to force that metal. I'm going to turn it up with the mast up top. Alright, so that's got the basic shape of the leaf, and it's still plenty thick. So I'm going to put a line down the center to do the main vein down the center. And when you do this, I'm starting close to me and hitting it once, and now I can lean this fuller this way and rock it forward, and that controls it so that I'm always in the same groove. So that's what the fuller mark right down the center.
Gotcha.
So now I'm going to get it hot and do the ones on the side.
So tell me about this studio here at the Guild.
Well, it hadn't been used in a while, but we think we've got a blacksmith that's going to start coming out and doing some classes in the future real soon. And he'll be out here demonstrating too, I'm sure. And we'll get everything cleaned up again and ready. We've had to store a few things out here and do different things. And I'm sorry that I haven't been able to be here, but I've had a few things go on in my life, and I'm trying to get everything squared away.
Yeah.
Alright, so all I did was lay them out just then. But that's the marks on the sides.
Nice.
And the neat thing about this leaf is what I don't touch is what's producing the veins. So I'm actually creating the negative space to push metal away, and what stays up top is what's making it look like a leaf. So it's really an artistic style of leaf. It's a beautiful leaf. And it doesn't take that long to make.
I noticed that. This is great.
Right, now I can just go a little bit deeper with each one of these. Alright, so that's got the basic leaf made. But if you see what it looks like now, I'm about to put some shape into it and make it look much nicer. I'm going to go into this block of wood. I've got a ball peen hammer, and I'm going to hammer on the back side of the leaf with the veins down, and this is going to give it some shape. And I had a guy that takes a class, he lives in Lake Charles, and I like the way he said it one day. It's not a flower, it's a leaf, but he said, I'm actually making this leaf bloom. Alright, so we're going to set it down and take the back of this ball peen and just keep hammering in the back of that leaf. And this is giving it some shape to really make it stand out. It makes all, and I'm going to bend the tip down just a little bit. So let me wire brush it just a little bit so you can see the difference. Alright, so now if you see it,
Oh,
it
yeah.
looks much nicer.
Nice, deep, rich
Gives
groove.
it that 3D effect
Yes.
rather than 2D.
Fabulous.
So now I can get it all nice and straight, and then I'm going to hammer it down to a point on the end. I've got to get some heat in the back side of it so I can hammer that side down to a point. I was out here at the Craftsmen Guild years ago, and they were having a fiber event. And there was a bunch of ladies in there. At this time, I was coming out here almost every day and foraging. And I realized they were doing a fiber event, and I said, there ain't no sense in me being here. But I made some of these, and I also did some calabas, some small ones out of copper. And there was a couple ladies that walked out to see what I was doing. When they saw the little calla lilies, they wanted one to pin their shawl with.
Oh, nice.
And they went back in, and a couple minutes later, 2 more ladies came out, and they got 2 more, and I sat here and made these type items all day long.
How cool was that?
That was nice. Let me get this straight. We'll get it all nice and straight, then I'll work that down. And now I'll do the point on here.
Okay.
Yeah, it is a little warm in here today.
Yeah, it's hot outside today.
This cold, it gets up over 3,000 degrees.
Really?
It's at 2,800 degrees, most of it. So this will actually burn that steel up if you heat it too long.
What do you call that tray with all the coal in it?
Man,
What do you call the tray with the coal in it?
oh, that's a forge.
Okay.
That is a forge. And it's got an air blower blowing air on it. And right now I'm actually using coke instead of coal. This coke is coal. It's been baked in a furnace and burns all the volatiles off.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't have smoke. Since we don't have ventilation on these forges, this coke is much nicer because it doesn't fill this room up with coal, especially if you've got all the forges going doing a class. I've got some old pictures of one of the first classes we did. You couldn't even see in this room. Alright, so I'm bringing this down to a sharp point. And right before it breaks off, I want to get it all straightened out again. And this hammer's got a flat side on one side. It's flat on this face and round on this face.
Yeah, what's the round part for?
Well, when you're actually forging metal, if you use the round face, you're decreasing the surface area that you're making contact on the metal with, so you get more pounds per square inch out of every blow. So you can actually forge the metal further with a round face than a flat face, because it has a larger contact surface, so it doesn't move as easily.
Yes.
All right, before I break it off, I'm going to get a little bit of heat in it. And this is a rag that's had vegetable oil on it, and it's about wore out. I'm going to create a new one. But if you take this rag, while this is good and hot, and wipe it with that vegetable oil, it burns on and creates a black finish. And that's really where the name blacksmith came from. They work with the black metal. By doing this, and you could do this with animal fat, you could do it with vegetable oil, any kind of oily substance, and it'll burn on and create that black finish. If I take it down and just grab it down here where I've made it small, it'll break off. And I'm going to dip it in the oil. Just make sure that finish is nice. And I didn't grab any more. I think I turned the water off on the sink so it wouldn't freeze over. But anyway, it's hot, so don't pick it up. But that's
Okay.
the finish.
It's beautiful.
Hairpin, you can take that way and pin your shawl with it.
Beautiful. Thank you. Oh my, look at that.
But it's a very simple thing, and the more you practice something, the better you get at it. Even something very simple, you can get more and more elegant the more you think about different ways to do things. So,
Yes.
and I've tried to express that all the time. Is if something's ever hard to make, then make a bunch of them, and you just get better at it, and it gets easier to make. So don't ever get disgusted with it or get frustrated with it. You just start over. Most
Okay.
people want to try to fix what they've done, but it's best just to start over. and do it again. And the more you do it, the easier it gets.
You'll probably be doing this all your life,
Oh
won't
man,
you?
I hope to be able to. I'm fortunate enough that next year the president of the Texas group contacted me, and I'm gonna be the demonstrator at the Atlanta conference. That's the Artist Blacksmith Association of North America. It's every 2 years. There'll be blacksmiths from all over the world.
Yeah, yeah.
It is.
What was the name of that forager show that you was on? Do you remember the name?
The what?
The name of that foraging show you were on?
The Forged in Fire. Is that
Oh,
what-
Forged in the Fire. Okay.
Yeah, that was the competition that I was on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, on the History Channel.
On the,
I was
okay.
on season 3, episode 10.
Okay.
And I was runner-up. I did not win the 10,000.
Oh, but we had a good time on the watch.
Yeah, it was
The
a lot of
watch
fun.
night. We watched it, and we were rooting for you, man. I was there.
Yeah.
I was there.
But I've really enjoyed blacksmithing. I've got friends all over the world. It's
My
incredible.
goodness. And
Had students from Australia and England, Germany,
yeah,
Spain,
and
Brazil.
and you're a bit of a storyteller. You've got a story in a book called Mississippi Folk
That's
and the
right.
Tales They Tell, a story about a woodpecker.
That's right. The ivory-billed woodpecker. When I was a young man, I was hunting. This had to have been around 1977, and I saw 2 of them,
Uh-huh.
and nobody believed me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
that's
thank
true.
you so much. Whew. Very nice. I appreciate it. Keep doing what you're doing, and I know the people will enjoy it, and we hope that some more females and males would join the Craftsmen's Guild. And
Exactly. And there will be some more classes starting up. And if you've got any questions, just post comments. I try to keep them up.
okay.
Look at it and be glad to answer anything I can.
Do you have a website?
I do. It's on my Tools to Make Tools, and the name of it is toolstomaketools.net.
Okay, toolstomaketools.net.
.net.
.net. Okay, and it's Lyle Wynn, LYLEWYNN. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Diane. It's always a pleasure to see you.
Always a pleasure.